Have you ever wondered what Jesus did between the ages of 12 and 30? The Bible tells us about his birth, his visit to the temple as a boy, and then suddenly, he reappears to begin his public ministry. That's a gap of 18 years. These are often called the silent years or the lost years. The Gospels don't tell us much about this time, but historians, theologians, and ancient texts offer some fascinating clues. What was he doing?
Where did he go?
Let's uncover the untold story of Jesus' hidden years. The last time we see Jesus in the Bible before his ministry. He's a 12-year-old boy in the Jerusalem temple, astonishing the religious teachers with his wisdom. The next time he appears, he's a grown man, around 30, being baptized by John in the Jordan River. So what happened in between? The most widely accepted and historically grounded theory is that Jesus lived a quiet, ordinary life in his hometown of Nazareth. Luke's gospel gives us a hint, saying he grew in wisdom and stature, and in favor with God and man. It also mentions he was known as the carpenter's son. This suggests he followed in his earthly father Joseph's footsteps, learning the trade of a tech. Now, the Greek word tekton is often translated as carpenter, but it was a much broader term. It could mean a craftsman, a builder, or even a stonemason. In a small village like Nazareth, a tekton would have been a vital part of the community, building everything from houses and furniture to farming tools. Imagine a young Jesus, working with his hands, feeling the rough texture of wood and the solid weight of stone. This wasn't just manual labor. It was a profound education. Every day, he would have learned lessons in patience, precision, and diligence. Think about it. You can't rush carpentry. You have to measure carefully, cut precisely, and join pieces together with strength and skill. These are the same qualities he would later use to build his church, not with wood and nails, but with people. This daily work would have also kept him deeply connected to the everyday lives of the people he came to save. He would have known their struggles, their hopes, and the rhythms of their daily existence. He wasn't a distant, isolated figure. He was one of them. This humble life of a craftsman shaped his character, teaching him the humility and patience he would need for the immense task ahead. His hands, calloused from work, would one day heal the sick and bless the children.
The silent years weren't empty. They were formative.
But what if there's more to the story? A second theory suggests that Jesus may have traveled and studied during these years. While there's no direct biblical evidence for this, it's a compelling idea given the context of the time. Jewish culture placed a huge emphasis on education, especially the study of the Torah. It's very likely that Jesus, even while working as a would have spent a great deal of time in the local synagogue, studying the scriptures, debating with elders, and deepening his understanding of God's law. Some traditions and non-canonical texts even propose that he traveled beyond Galilee. Think of the great centers of learning at that time. Could he have journeyed to Jerusalem to learn from the great rabbis? Or perhaps even further, to Alexandria in Egypt, which had a massive Jewish community and was a hub of Greek philosophy and knowledge. There are even more fringe theories suggesting travels to India or Britain, but these have very little historical support. What we can be more certain of is his deep immersion in his own Jewish faith. His teachings are filled with quotes and allusions to the Hebrew scriptures. This kind of mastery wouldn't have come from nowhere. It was the result of years of dedicated study and reflection. Whether he stayed in Nazareth or traveled, these years were a period of intense intellectual and spiritual growth. He was preparing his mind, just as he was preparing his hands for the mission to come. He was absorbing the prophecies, the laws, and the poetry of his people, seeing how his own life was the fulfillment of it all. Beyond the work and the study, there's a third, deeply personal dimension to Jesus' hidden years: spiritual preparation. This was a time of communion with his Father. The Gospels often show the adult Jesus withdrawing to quiet places to pray early in the morning, late at night, before every major decision. This habit of seeking solitude and silence was almost certainly cultivated during his years in Nazareth. Imagine him climbing the hills overlooking the village, watching the sunrise paint the sky, and speaking with God. This wasn't just about learning scriptures. It was about knowing the author of the scriptures. This was a time of fasting, prayer, and deep meditation. where his human will was perfectly aligned with the divine will. In the quiet of Nazareth, away from the crowds and demands of public life, he was forging the spiritual strength he would need to face temptation in the wilderness, opposition from the religious leaders, and ultimately, the agony of the cross. His character was being refined, his resolve strengthened. These were not wasted years. They were the essential foundation for his ministry. Without this deep, private relationship with God, the public ministry would have been impossible. He was filling his own spiritual well so that he could one day offer living water to the world. It was in the silence that he learned to hear God's voice most clearly, a skill that would guide him through every step of his journey. So what does all this mean for us today? Whether Jesus was a carpenter, a scholar, or a mysticor most likely, a combination of all three his hidden years teach us something profound. They show us that the quiet, unseen, and often ordinary seasons of our lives are never wasted. Maybe you feel like you're in your own silent years right now. You're working a job, raising a family, or studying, and you wonder if what you're doing really matters in the grand scheme of things. You feel like you're waiting for your real purpose to begin. The story of Jesus' hidden years tells us that this preparation phase is not just a waiting period. It is the purpose. Your quiet, hidden moments of faithfulness, diligence, and seeking God are preparing you for whatever calling He has on your life. God is using your current circumstance, your work, your relationships, your private struggles, and triumphs to shape your character just as He shaped His sons. Don't despise the small beginnings. Don't resent the seasons of silence. Embrace them. This is where strength is built, where wisdom is gained, and where your heart is prepared for the unique mission that only you can fulfill. Your Nazareth is just as important as your Jerusalem. What do you think Jesus was doing during those 18 years? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this journey into history and faith fascinating, please share this video with someone who would appreciate it. And do you forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to discover more untold truths and inspiring stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.